Okay. Looking at music news today and stumbled across a story about the Killers. Not like actual killers, but like the guys that...
The band.
The band. Somebody Told Me band. Those guys. But recently, I think it was yesterday, they did a show in Georgia, the country Georgia, and they brought a fan on stage with them to play the drums, which is a common thing. I see Green Day do this, Foo Fighters do it. I think I've seen Blink-182 do something similar, or at least giving away instruments. But they brought someone up on stage to play the drums for a song. Turned out he was Russian. And history lesson, Russia invaded Georgia several years ago. And the Georgia fans were not happy about it. They were booing. They booed the band. And the band's like, hey, we just all want to get along. And people walked out and were outraged. And then the Killers issued an apology for it. And okay, so first of all, before we get into this is purely opinion based, okay? We are not, we're going to go off of what we have read on the stories that we're about to talk about. Yeah, there were nuggets on the screen. Yeah. It's made me hungry. I don't feel the Killers should have apologized for this. I think people hold too much power over bands and people with fame, if I'm to be honest. I think forcing a political thing on them. They're a band aren't they from the UK, or are they from America? Are the Killers from America? I think they are.
I thought they were.
I think they are. But yeah, exactly. It's not about where you're from. It's about the music. You're all there to see the Killers. This is one of your favorite bands. You bring a fan up on stage. You're not going to do a background check. You're not going to find out where they're from. You're certainly not going to kick them off the stage.
Right. And to expect every band to know the politics that are going on in other countries is just a reach.
It is.
That's a lot to ask. They clearly didn't do it to be offensive. They had no clue.
It's a strange one. I just think it's real messed up that we're having. There was no need for the apology. You didn't mess up. You didn't do anything wrong. The Killers did nothing wrong. If you're worried about a country giving you backlash because you brought a fan up on stage to play to play an instrument during a song, then maybe you should really rethink about that country and performing over there. I'm just being real. We can't expect bands and musicians to do history lessons before they go into a country, and be careful on who they pull up on stage.
Right. And then have to issue apologies because of that.
You issue apologies because you're scared. People are scared. Bands are scared. And the reason they're scared is because of cancel culture. And this is where our subject, like I said, this is our opinion, strictly our opinions. And this goes back to me mentioning social media earlier. When you disconnect from social media, you disconnect from the world of politics and all that shit, you really clear your mind and you start to see shit. And you start to notice things that are that's not right. For instance, Brojob kicked out the member of their band, Jacob Wallace, their vocalist. Why did they kick him out? Because he went to bat for a friend of his. I believe the vocalist for the band, Tactosa. That's the band, Tactosa. He was very shoddily convicted by an ex on social media about something he did to her in the past. And I'll be real, I'm one of those people that I go look at these things now. I used to not look at these things. I used to be, oh my God, this person's getting canceled. This person did something really bad. We need to distance ourselves from this and their content. But over the years, we've started to notice a trend. And the trend is people aren't trustworthy. People will bullshit just to ruin other people and for their own agenda and fame. It's the sad, fucked up truth, but it's the world we live in.
Right. And we just watched it happen with Rammstein, too. They're still going through it.
We have not discussed the Rammstein thing.
We have not.
Whatsoever. So we're going to get that out of the way here. But I'm going to go back to the Jacob Wallace thing. So the lead singer of Tactosa, his ex came out, said that some shit happened. Jacob Wallace from Brojob, who did nothing wrong, came out and said, hey, that's not the guy I know. You have to be careful. He flat out mentioned the Amber Heard thing. Totally respect that. It's like people have forgotten about Amber Heard. Did we not remember this woman who was just defaming a man? And that is something that happens, whether we like to admit it or not, whether you want to open your eyes to it or not, it happens all across the board.
Right. Women can be just as toxic as men.
Right. And, but Jacob got kicked out of the band for that, just defending a friend. We can't get upset at people for defending someone that they know on a personal level. I think we should be like, okay, well, you're coming from someone who has been friends with this person for years. Maybe I should listen to you. But he got called a rape sympathizer. And it's just like, whoa, time the fuck out. Time out. That is not it at all. Melanie, you point out a very valid thing. It happened to CJ McCreery. It happened to Greg Gilbert from Shrine of Malice. But you open your eyes. I watched CJ's apology video. I didn't really care for his apology, but he apologized. Okay, he did it on his own thing. He didn't need to pander to me to apologize for his actions. There are some racial things that I was just like, I don't know if that's really okay. But we're canceling people just from other person's words. You can literally look at a person and say, he raped me, and they're done. They are fucking done. Which is where we go to the Rammstein thing. And right. Some of the like I said, this could be a slippery slope. This is going to go on YouTube too, so this could be interesting. In our honest opinions, nothing wrong was done with the Rammstein stuff. Yes, they have a row zero where they take attractive women and girls and put them up front for the band to oogle at. I don't care. I don't fucking care. That is the band's prerogative, and that is these women's. Like, these women know about it. These women that go in there, they know about it. It's a consensual thing when they walk in there and like, oh, well, they think I'm attractive, and you're not going to tell me you're not getting dolled up and going to a Rammstein show not to get fucking noticed. Okay? Now, we get to the part where the first girl came out and said that she was taken into a room and Till went to have sex with her. She said no, and Till left angrily. First of all, what was done wrong in that scenario? This girl was brought into a room. He walked in. He said, I'm here for this. She said no. He got mad, walked the fuck out. Nothing wrong was done there. It might have been on a creepy side of things if she didn't know that's what she was going in there for and whatnot. But then we find out that story wasn't even fucking real. It was totally fucking made up.
And she also tried to claim that she was bruised, even though there was no attachment how the bruises happened, until you find out that she was in the first row.
Mm-hmm. And video, lots of video of her with very erratic behavior. She was drunk, and then she went to this after party. I watched an actual interview with a girl that was at both pre-show and after-show parties and said that nothing ever happened to this girl. But then you had, with that, more accusations that came out. And all just right out of the gate, Rammstein's guilty. Cancel them. Till's an old creepy perv. And then you read other stories of these other women coming forward and telling stories of consensual stories from what I have read. Consensual things. They didn't like how it played out. Thank you, Sean, for the 5 gifted subs, dude.
Hooray! Thank you for mine to Chels Reacts. Appreciate it.
But yeah, like, it's a fucking shame. It's a shame we can't trust people. But the realistic thing is you shouldn't trust someone. Just because they come to you and say it happened, I do feel we live in an age where you should have more factual things. You should have some facts to back up your stuff. I have been fucked over myself, not for any sexual stuff, family law things, but I will tell you, in the eyes of the law, women are automatically right. It does not matter what the man's case is. It doesn't matter what he has to say about it. He can't defend himself. You are fucking guilty. You did this shit. You should be done. You shouldn't have a life after that. That's the way it's done in today's age. At least for our country, I can say. I can't say that for everybody. But I do think it's really fucked up that other people started coming out with their stories to get Till in trouble. And then you had Till's book company that dropped him because he made a pornographic video. You cannot tell me they didn't know about it when it happened, because they did. They had to have. I mean, you have such a prolific person like that. That comes out. Everybody knew about it. People were telling us about it when we first started a reaction channel and started checking out Rammstein videos. If regular Joe Schmo from the street can say, hey, you need to check out this X-rated Till Lindemann video, then I guarantee you a bookstore in fucking Germany, a book publisher in Germany, is going to know that. We gotta stop canceling people for stupid things.
Also, like, he's getting shit for having the after parties. Do you not think that these women know what they're invited for? Now, granted, do they know the extent of what they're signing up for? And are they uncomfortable? Possibly. But when you are consenting to being there, then you are consenting to something until you're not consenting to it anymore. I just find it really...
It's a very taboo subject, but also we have to think about the fact that groupies, people, I don't know if anyone in this era, like the generations after us, I mean, not before us, the generations after us might not know this, but groupies have been a thing since I think 1965 with the Rolling Stones. It's whatever. It's up to them. They're adults. If they want to have sex with band members, fucking go for it. The band members want to, take you in their tour bus and give you a little show and have some fun. Fucking have a good time. Have your story. I mean, you had 2 women that became famous because they're plaster casters, where they were taking actual plaster casters of musicians' penises, and they loved it. They rocked it. They became famous for this shit. We're not in that era anymore. Shit like that happens now, and you're a creep. You need to be canceled, and you get canceled for, just someone saying things. And we have to be more careful with that. We have to be careful. I have learned that in the past. We fed into it too much. The dog's barking. We fed into it too much, and we eased up. We realized that, hey, we have to go more than just listening to someone's words. It has to be more than that. And then you have people that are trying to cancel people for just opening your mouth and stating your opinion. And I think that's wrong. Ronnie Radke got his TikTok banned for just saying his opinion, in which his opinion, whether anyone likes to admit it or not, I know a lot of people hate Ronnie, but it was fact. He got banned for saying that transgender women can't have periods. I'm not trying to start a fucking war here, but they can't. They can't. But it's... we have to be, we live in a society where you have to be careful with what you say, who you talk to, what you do. And I don't think we should be holding these rock stars and bands up on these fucking pedestals because they are humans just like us. You can't say to them, hey guys, you're allowed to perform, but you're not allowed to bang any of these women in this row 0 that you have here. It is not allowed. It is not permitted. Go fuck yourself. Who are you to dictate what a band does or says? I have also noticed there have been some musical sites looking at you, Loudwire, Metal Injection, Injection, who will purposely go out of your way to smear a band because of their past, because you don't like how they stand politically. And that's ass, man. I don't give a fuck if you voted for Trump. I don't give a fuck if you voted for Biden. I don't give a fuck if you voted for Kermit the fucking Frog. I don't care. You're a person just like me. You have an opinion just like me. The division is insane. But cancel culture really exploded in 2020. It was like everyone was so fucking bored because we just sat on our asses and sat on social media. Like, who can we cancel now? Let's dig into this person's past and try to cancel them. And it's fucking just gnarly to me that we allow this to happen. And we sit here and continue to just let people get away with it. I honestly feel that if you can't back it up, I mean, false accusations are a big fucking thing, especially when you're trying to ruin someone's career.
Yeah. The unfortunate thing is that there are victims of assault, and then you have people out there saying that they are, and they just want attention. It really sucks for everyone who really is a victim.
It does. It really does. Marilyn Manson, the Evan Rachel Wood thing. I am not saying Evan didn't go through some shit with Marilyn Manson. I am not saying there wasn't some sort of grooming scenario there. But I will say her trying to get all these other people to collaborate with her and get these other stories out there was scummy. And people didn't bat an eye at that. Nothing was said about that. It was a real quick news story that went under the fucking bridge because we don't want to worry about not canceling someone and saving their career. And we worry more about running them into the ground and tarnishing their name and their career and what they have done for a living and what they enjoy. I don't think it's okay. I don't think it's okay anymore. And I think people need to open their eyes and read more. Learn more about what is happening. Because like Rammstein, all of a sudden these other lawsuits were coming out. They were third-party lawsuits. There was no one actually coming out. And it is just a smear campaign. Total smear campaign. Apparently Germany is kind of at odds with Rammstein. We didn't know that until all this stuff started playing out. It was pretty crazy. But I've watched, why am I drawing a blank on his name? The lead singer of Nothing More. They, Loudwire went after him because his ex called out something that he did in the past. Something that he already did his time for. He already pled guilty. He got that shit out of the way. But we're going back and we're trying to cancel him for it because she came out because she's mad that he broke up with her. That's not right. That's not right at all. I don't listen to Nothing More that often anymore. I don't care that Kid Rock shot up Bud Light cans. He still sells Bud Light at his fucking restaurant. Don't read into all the delusions with that. I automatically terrorize girls who try to cancel dudes for no reason, and it happens. It happens. I don't honestly it's even starting to happen with other people, other high profile people like Lizzo. Lizzo's getting canceled, although she's not really getting canceled. I don't know. The Lizzo one, I don't know on that one. I don't know. It's weird. But I don't know how you can go after someone for inviting you to eat a banana from someone's crotch. Like, if you got invited, you can say no. Right?
I feel like when it's your employer, because in this case she was the dancer's employer, it becomes should you ask your employee to do something like that is kind of how I look at it. If it made them uncomfortable that they were even asked, like, can think about my previous bosses. No, thank you. Please don't ask me to do that.
Yeah, I can't think of one boss I'd want to do that with that I've ever had. Anyway, that's getting off the beaten path. But there's a lot going on with cancel culture, and I think we need to be more careful, more cautious about cancel culture. To be honest with you guys, I've said this one to Chels, and I'm going to say it here. Why are we trying to cancel people from things that they did in their past that we don't really have much factuality behind? But we're not fucking canceling Mark Wahlberg. Mark fucking Wahlberg. Do you guys know what he was doing back in the 80s? The 3 fucking hate crimes that dude committed? Come the fuck on. Why aren't we canceling this guy? I mean, he's not a, you know, if you want to talk about someone worth canceling, that's someone worth canceling. I'll be totally honest with you. If we're going to cancel someone for their past, we should do it to Mark Wahlberg. Fuck doing it to these bands. Man, it's crazy to me. Okay, so the Mark Wahlberg thing. You guys want to know what happened to Mark Wahlberg? When he was a teenager, he threw rocks at black kids while screaming racial slurs at them, saying kill them. Yeah. And then another time he got in trouble for, I think he got arrested all 3 times, actually. I know for the third one he did for a fact. The second one he got arrested for terrorizing some black kids on the beach with his friends. And then the third time he got arrested after beating a Vietnamese man almost to death because he was Vietnamese and the Vietnam War and all that shit. Yeah, it's a true story. Definitely look that up. But
he's like all of the racist.
He is. He really is. And I know the guy's come out and said, oh, I've changed. And a few years ago, he actually asked for a fucking pardon on all of his crimes because of how much he's changed. And really, Marky Mark, the only thing that's changed is how fat your fucking wallet's gotten, buddy. I'm just going to say it. I don't think he's changed. I don't think you can change people that are that fucking racist and that disgusting. So, like, if we're going to cancel, let's go all in. Let's go all in and go after the people who should be canceled. But yeah, that is this story in a nutshell. Be careful with cancel culture. Do your research. We did it. There are some people out there that we used to say we wouldn't check out on the channel, but we've changed that and like, no, I'm not going to do that to CJ anymore, and I'm not going to do that to Greg anymore. I do feel that there is such thing as being too woke, and I think that is on those lines, if I'm to be honest. That was a big rant for me. I get on my soapbox with that shit. We have these kind of discussions often. This one's been in the works for a couple weeks now. And with the killer stuff, I just felt it was really time to talk about cancel culture and how ridiculous we're getting. We're booing a band because they brought someone on stage. Get the fuck out of here.
Because of their nationality, and which I find gross about Georgia, to be completely honest. Who's to say this Russian person isn't a citizen of their country and just happens to resemble a Russian? Why should they be treated any differently?
And the saddest part about it is the lead singer of the Killers actually stood there and had a good message of saying that he's our brother, we're your brothers. And in the process of that, people booed and walked the fuck out. That's gross, man. Those aren't fans. Those just aren't fans. I don't think we should be so hostile with each other all the time, especially because of your nationality. I don't care where you're from. You respect me, I respect you. I don't care your race, your religion, any of it. And I don't think anyone else should either. I think the world would be a much better place if we just cared more about the person and less about their life. Unless they're a creepy pedophile or, neo-Nazi, because then they can just be eviscerated.
Right, like that one guy who didn't die.
Right.
From the Lost Prophets.
Yeah, Ian Watkins. He didn't die, and that's a fucking shame. That's how I end this video.